Hey there, folks. Just a bloke with a beer here. Thought I'd check in. It's been a while, about 3 weeks or so, and haven't made a video. Excuse me. Just listening to a little bit of the Buena Vista Social Club. I've been listening to them for a while now. I really like how just that chillaxed vibe that they bring, and also I'm a huge fan of bands that play instruments. And the Buena Vista Social Club is a really interesting group. They're preserving pre-revolutionary Cuban music. And I know the the orchestra was started in 1997, I believe, where a bunch of old Cuban artists kind of came together and started to play music that was around before the revolution happened in Cuba. And it's been pretty good. I've been enjoying their music quite a bit. I know Ibrahim, one of the singers for the group, had passed already, and they actually came here to Utah and performed at the Red Butte Garden, but I had missed it, unfortunately. Um, but still, you're able to listen to a lot of their stuff on YouTube still. And I'm not sure if the group still tours. I know a lot of their members are older, and I'm not sure if they're allowed to, or if they're in traveling condition. I'm not even sure if they still in Cuba or if they're in Miami. And the relationship between the United States and Cuba has made it a little bit difficult. Um, but anyways, I came on here to just give you an update. I'm still around. I'm still alive. I'm doing all right. Um, Sorry about not keeping you folks updated. Uh, Went through a breakup 3 weeks ago, then went on a fishing trip. The Utah Pipe Smokers meeting also happened right after the fishing trip, and a couple other things. Graduation also. June is, if you know anything about Polynesians, we're big celebrators when it comes to graduations, and so we go out of our way and make these candy leis, which are necklaces made of candy, and it's a whole family affair. We get together and we celebrate the achievement of a graduation that our kids, or the kids in our families and our friends' families, have done. Graduating high school, graduating college, or whatever other kind of graduations there are, where we make a big deal out of it, and we make sure to celebrate that. And so I've been busy with graduations, going there. Also been busy with eating the leftover candies. But yeah, in the time between my last video and now, I actually also made a couple of new pipes that I also wanted to show on here. As you guys know, I like to salvage broken chair legs and make pipes out of them. And here's one of them. But rather than using a stretcher from the chair leg for the shank, I've gone ahead and used a wooden dowel and just drilled a hole big enough on the side of the bowl to fit that in there, and drilled all the way through, and then drilled it down through the top here. Now, I know a lot of people like to pre-drill their holes in briar blocks, and I've actually never worked with a briar block. I've never got one of those pre-made kits or anything like that. This is the only pipe making experience that I have, is with these chair legs, and a lot of this stuff I've had to watch people do on YouTube, online, and stuff like that. And a podcast recently, I actually listened to it today, and one of our members here in the Utah Pipe Smokers is Adam Bybee, and he moved here from Michigan and was big out there with the pipe club and stuff like that. He actually makes his own pipes, and they're nicer ones, but he kind of explained in his interview on one of the podcasts that I listened to today that he experiments both ways, where he'll either pre-drill the holes into the block before he carves and shapes them, or he'll shape them first and then carve and then drill the holes. And I've only had to experience one side of that, because when I make a chair leg pipe, you know, the leg's already in that shape, so there's not much I have to do. I don't have to shape or carve anything at all. I just cut the piece of the leg that I like, that I think would make a good bowl shape. Just cut it right off right there. And as you can see, this is the bottom of the chair leg right there. They would have a plastic piece that would go in right here. I've taken that out. I've just cut it off right there, and I've had to drill the hole, which I find is a lot harder, because if you don't drill them straight, you're gonna have an uneven pipe in there, and so when it burns and stuff like that, you're gonna feel the heat more instead of evenly on some parts, because of how thin some parts of the bowl is. And that's something I've had to work with. I don't have a drill press, which is funny, because I'm a furniture repairman, and the wood shop that I work out of, they don't really have one, and it's not something we usually work with. A lot of the stuff we do doesn't really require a drill press, and so they don't have one, and so a lot of the drilling we have to do is with a hand drill. And so when I drill the holes for my pipes, that's all I work with, is a hand drill, and I have to try and get that hole straight, or even enough so that my pipe isn't thin on some parts of the wall there. But I smoked this once already. It's actually a decent smoker. It's not too bad. But because it is a stack style, has a bit of a bigger bowl to it, and I do have moisture buildup at the bottom of those. But it hasn't had it. I hadn't had any experience with the cracking yet or anything like that. The pipe actually burns really well. In fact, I forgot. So, two of the legs from this chair were broken. So that's one of them that I've made a pipe out of. The other one, I said 2 pipes, I meant 3. So I kind of wanted to make a pipe in the Bavarian style, that German Bavarian style. And so I have a metal piece here for the bend. I know Bavarian pipes, they break into like 3 or 4 pieces, and there is a piece right here on the bend that is supposed to capture the moisture from the tobacco in the bowl, and I don't really have that. So these take a little bit more. This takes a little bit more time to clean when I'm done smoking, and the pieces don't come apart aside from the mouthpiece. But that's wood and metal right there. That's my Bavarian style pipe, and it actually smokes really well. It's a nice, cool smoke. Looks pretty cool too. But I've only smoked once out of this too. And I think it was Smoky Mountain Rain was the last tobacco that I smoked out of that. But that's the first time I've made this style of pipe. That's pretty cool. And I'm sorry, the lighting's not too good in here. The sun's sitting outside. You're probably wondering why I'm wearing a hat inside the house, but I got the blinds closed, and that sun is still penetrating those blinds, and it's hit me. But yeah, that's the other one. And lastly, this pipe I wouldn't say is one I made, but one I modified. I guess you can say a lot of these are modified pipes. But my first tobacco pipe ever was a Country Gentleman pipe by Missouri Meerschaum, and it's a corncob pipe. And that pipe broke, or the shank broke. But I wanted to continue to use that pipe. The bowl was still fine. All I had to do was replace the shank, and so I did. and I made the same mistake that I made the first time, uh, and the shank broke again. And that mistake was, I basically put it in my short or my pants pocket, and when I got into the car to sit, right when I sat, the shank went one way, the pipe bowl went the other, and it snapped right in half. And so that was the second time. Now the third time, I think this pipe's gonna last a lot longer now, because that is a metal shank. I found a piece of metal. I took off a lamp that broke in my shop, and we're woodworkers, we're not metal workers, and so furniture company thought we could use the parts or something like that, and so I took that metal piece off that lamp, and it fit perfectly well into the hole where the shank goes. And I'm still using a Missouri Meerschaum mouthpiece here, and I wrapped the shank in line, and I have a little fishing hook here, and I painted the bowl. I'm terribly sorry for the lighting, but rather than a country gentleman, I've called this my country fisherman pipe. It is a heavier pipe though, because of the metal shank. My big old Polynesian jaw muscles don't have any problem clenching this. In fact, I've been known to just smoke a pipe by clenching it and just have my hands in my pocket and walking around town doing some, I believe what's called lunting. But yeah, those are the 3 pipes that I wanted to get on here and show you guys. I'm sorry, the lighting is getting pretty terrible. Yeah, let me see if I can turn on a light here. I don't know if that's any better. A little better. But here. Just to recap here. Boom. But yeah, I'm still a novice pipe maker. I'm not going to get on here and tell you how to smoke your pipes or how to make your pipes or anything like that, because I'm still learning myself. I started off with cigars, even though I was collecting tobacco pipes, and that's all I was doing. But I decided to, if I was going to do that, I might as well get into pipes as well, and that's a hobby I enjoy as well. And I'm glad to have found a group here in Utah to help me learn, and also a community on YouTube that has been helping me to learn. But anyways, thank you guys very much. I'm doing fine. I'm doing all right. Could be better, but it is what it is, and I'll get over it. And so you guys take care. Hope you guys have a good week, and happy smoking.